Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Royal Instinct. Today we are going to be watching a video by Dan Ko where he is explaining the one high value skill. I believe they're all the fucking same title this guy always uses. Hang on, let me get it. The one high income skill that made him millions, which anyone can learn. Let's get right into it. Let's see what he is talking about.
If you don't have ideas, read. If you have ideas but can't articulate them, write. If you have ideas and the clarity to execute, build.
I mean, it sounds very fancy schmancy. He's using these graphics to kind of hypnotize you. He's got all these fancy sound effects in the background to put you in a trance.
Expand, organize, and focus your mind until your craziest ideas become reality.
Hang on. Until your craziest ideas become a reality. What if, there was a guy, an Austrian guy who used to, he used to do, he was a creative. He used to do a little bit of painting at the University of Austria. And, he had a few crazy ideas, right? He had a little, he had a cute little mustache as well, He had some fun ideas and, they did become reality for many people. So maybe we need to rein it in a little bit here, Dan. We need to put a stop to making the craziest ideas become a reality. Okay, let's start off with just some normal ideas, making them into reality first. Okay, what is Dan Ko's real mission here? Okay, people been telling me he's trying to grow a mustache. I don't know what is going on. But Danko, we don't need every fucking crazy idea to become reality. And it's a great segue to buy his fucking book, The Art of Focus. Um, you know, by Danko. Again, there was another famous man who had wild ideas who wrote a book before he implemented his wild strategies onto the world. I believe he had a final solution for something. I can't remember what it was, but you know, I'm sure Dan's got a few solutions for us today.
Ever since I can remember, I've had the goal of doing what I love for a living. Isn't that what everyone wants? My family, teachers, and even the people I was following online screamed at me to go down other paths. So that's what I did. I went to college and didn't finish after 5 years. I learned
5 years?
creative skills on the side. I started every online business imaginable. I learned to code because it was
He didn't learn how to be charming, charismatic though. Like he has the most monotone voice I have ever come across. Like for being a rich motherfucker, you can really tell that he spent all his life being a solo entrepreneur. I don't think he's ever had to do any work within a team. I don't think he probably has any friends. It sounds like he literally just sits in his room, writes all day, and then fucking talks into the camera. And he forgot how to have any inflection in his voice, how to be enthusiastic about anything. I mean, you know, he may have some great ideas, but he's got no fucking personality. But let's crack on with Mr. Daniel Ko.
lucrative. Dropped out of college because it was wasting my time and got a $55,000 a year job as an entry-level web designer at a design agency. Throughout this entire journey, the goal of doing what I love for a living stuck.
I don't think he should use that word, doing what he loves for a living, because first of all, he looks dead inside, which kind of makes me question whether this is even a life worth living that he's living. And I feel like there's some sort of sadness in his eyes. There's some sort of false promise being made here. He's like, oh yeah, you need to love what you're doing. It's like, oh, Dan, do you love it really? I mean, he like I said, he comes across dead inside.
In the back of my head. I was constantly reminded of it, and there was rarely a moment where I wouldn't be working on a personal project in my life. And I still maintain.
He's been working on all these personal, problems in his life, his personal, projects in his life. he forgot to fucking work on his soul. It's like, come on, mate. Like, just have a little bit of enthusiasm, you know. Even everything's so bleak and dark in his videos. It's like, yeah, do you want? Oh, I've done every fucking business in the world imaginable, and now I'm a multimillionaire, and I'm gonna teach you how to become a multimillionaire. It's like, come on, mate. Like you're a multimillionaire now, right? Live a little, build a kingdom. That is why Danko is not a king. He is not of royal descent. That is why it is very easy for people like you watching who do believe that it is your destiny to be a king, to build a kingdom, and to rise to the top, to dethrone people like Dan. Okay. Um, the best way to do it is by building character, by building charisma, by becoming a charismatic speaker and being a charismatic leader, which none of which Danko is.
This habit to this day because it's really the only thing that keeps me sane. Because when I get overwhelmed or anxious,
Yeah, I mean, he really looks like he's lost grasp of reality. I like the fact that he said, "Oh, it's the only thing that keeps him sane." Because if he didn't, he would descend into a very very dark hole. Okay, I mean, I can imagine him being homeless. Maybe he needs a drug addiction. You know, maybe that will add some color into his life. You know, like just smoke a joint, mate. You know what I mean? Try some magic mushrooms, right? Do a line of cocaine, Dan. You have earned it. You are a multimillionaire. Live a fucking little.
or have these other negative emotions, or I'm just thinking about meaningless things, it's usually due to the concept of psychic entropy. Or
Yeah, I mean, he just seems like a very anxious person that, I mean, good for him that he's able to use anxiety to make, YouTube videos and make this business for him. But I mean, you have to really ask yourself is do you want to end up like this guy without a soul?
the mind tending toward disorder. Because the only reason I fall into a rut or into a season of overwhelm or anxiety or whatever it may be is because I've lost focus. So my focus is allowed to be.
Oh, and it's really funny that he's got a book called The Art of Focus because, you know, when I lose, when I fall into a rut, it's because I've lost focus. Oh, and by the way, I've got a solution. It's called The Art of Focus. Buy my book. It's available on Amazon right now.
Split to these other things. So, in order to reverse entropy, you need to order your mind. You need to focus on something that brings structure to your mind. And in most
What you need to do is, right, basically, you need to figure out what it is you want to do, what you're passionate about, what is a thing that you could speak about endlessly without never getting tired that really brings joy into your life. Okay, something that you could talk about endlessly with your friends, right? And then once you find that, then all we gotta do is stick a fucking camera in front of you and just open your mouth and start spilling the beans online. Okay, we are living the time where AI is upon us. There is no more room to figure out what works or not, what job you want to do, what skills you need to build. Okay, the last skill that is left, the only skill that is left, is communication, and mass communication it is, because you're not going to go around fucking like a homeless guy standing in town square screaming at the top of your lungs. um you have to broadcast out there into the world, into the abyss, into these online platforms. And here on Raw Instinct, I teach people how to be a charismatic speaker, a charismatic leader, how to rise to the top, how to become a evergreen content creation machine. Somebody who is able to garner attention, somebody who is seen as a point of authority, somebody who is willing to be a leader. You may have needed a leader for yourself. You may wish you had a leader, but you realize that the leaders that we currently have, you cannot trust. And therefore, you have to become the leader that you wish you had for other people. Okay, because there's many people who feel exactly like you, who have no direction, who are crying out for somebody to come and save them. And it shall be you who does, because you took the steps, you had the balls to go out into the into fear, into the darkness, and overcome your fears, overcome the shadows, and beat the metaphorical dragons that are out there. All right, you need to be a king, because that is the only thing that is left. Okay, you need to become an elite, because anybody else will be dethroned. Anybody else is just a follower. Everybody else will be pushed to the side and allowed to fizzle out of existence. Okay, people like Dan smart enough that he built enough systems that he was able to capitalize on this path of of the algorithm. He was able to capitalize on this phase of humanity. However, it's not too late. You can still get there before AI completely takes over the game, before the algorithm completely shuts people out. You'll be able to dethrone Dan. Dan's audience is very easily gettable. They don't really believe what he says, because Dan doesn't. Dan literally is a fucking AI bot chatting to you. Okay, it's like, all right, this is the device. Right now, pay me. Right. There's no feeling. There's no emotion. There is no charisma. There is no human connection to the guy, because he is just a literally just an algorithm. He literally took all his soul out of his body, out of his mind, and just replaced it with a algorithm. And which is why he looks dead inside, which is why he has no life inside him. The day in his life video that he created recently literally showcased that he there is nothing human about him. He's literally trying to collect money so he can protect himself. And then I don't know, whatever fetishes, whatever deviant things he does in the darkness of his own home. Unless he's hurting any people, and it's all consensual. Like, who the fuck? I don't give a shit what he does, but normal people like who act like him, it gets very dark very very quickly. And I'm sure, give it a few years, there'll be a few scandals coming out.
Cases, that is a project, and a project can be more than just like working on your computer. Your relationship can be a project, your life can be a project, your health can be a project, and of course your business and accompanying skill set can also be a project. So my current projects are Cortex, a second brain software, Cortex University, which is an
I mean, he literally has optimized his life so much that he's a walking advert. Everything he says, like, oh, by the way, that what? Hey Dan, what are your passions? What are your hobbies? Well, I'm launching a business. You can join it for, if you pay me $30 a month. Blah blah blah. I've written a book. You can buy it for $10 on Amazon. Blah blah blah. Like everything, like it's like he will literally sell his parents' kidneys if he could. Do you get what I mean?
extension of that is an education platform and community for creators, writers, marketers, promoting my book, planning another book.
I mean, go on a fucking holiday, Dan. You're a multimillionaire. I'm writing a book, I'm promoting a book, and I'm writing another book. It's like, look, right? It doesn't bring you happiness, Dan, because if you right, you can't say that this is my passion, this is what brings me happiness, because you're sitting there fucking miserable at your face. It's like, no, I'm doing this, and then I'm optimizing this, and then I'm gonna fucking open a gym, and then I'm gonna do open a coffee shop, and I'm gonna do this, and yeah, I'm gonna live a life. Great, I'm a multi-millionaire sitting in my Ferrari, blah 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 blah. I mean, yes, Dan, you can raise your eyebrows at me all you want, but we have figured you out. You are miserable and dying inside.
To write in Cortex, and gaining a few more pounds on my frame before I trimmed down for.
Oh my god. Yeah, I lost my abs and not really visible anymore. I fucked up on my diet. Now I'm gonna go back into the gym and lose the weight. It's like great. Like why why not optimize your life in a way? It's like well, eat less or exercise more. Do you know what I mean? Like this is Dan Coe, everybody, who advocates for walking. So the fact that he's gained this weight, okay, I think we should fat shame him a little bit. It's like that you shouldn't be in this position, Dan. Right? You have optimized your life in a way that you are very happy all the time, apparently, but yet you look miserable. And you go on these constant walks, and you encourage people to go on a walk so you can start writing. However, you have not been on your walks, have you? Then, because since you are admitting that you have gained some weight.
The summer. Why am I telling you all of this? Because I realized most people didn't know what they were talking about. I was taking career and life advice from people who hadn't achieved what I wanted to achieve. In their closed mind, the reality I wanted to create was impossible, yet I kept looping back to projects.
I mean, the reality that Dan wanted to create was literally like sitting in a room, right, just staring onto his laptop, no daylight, no fun, right? I bet you, he's sitting in his apartment, and upstairs, it's a Friday night, and they're throwing a little party, and Dan's like, he's got his stick out. He's like, hey, you kids, be quiet, right? Like, I need to optimize my life. Grr.
That I loved working on for the sake of maintaining my own sanity. Most people don't have a personal project that will create the future they want. Most people don't realize a personal project is not optional to create the future they.
Do you know what? The fact that Dan isn't able to smile in these videos. He's not able to really enjoy. He's not enjoying the process of making these videos. Do you know what I mean? It really makes me question: is Dan even doing what he wants to do? Because that's a big thing of his brand. Is like he's always telling people like, yeah, you need to follow your passions, you need to create the vision that you want, and like he's got all this money now, as he says. You know, he's created this business. You know that he always wanted to do. It's like, I don't know, man. Like there's no spark in his eyes. There's no soul in his voice. Do you get what I mean? There's no enthusiasm, no excitement. There's no charisma, no charm whatsoever. It's like, everything's, everything doesn't have to be very dry. Do you get what I mean? Like you can add a little bit of spice into your life, right? Like you're successful, Dan. Just relax a little bit. Do you get what I mean? Take the fucking butt plug out your ass. You don't need to be uptight all the fucking time, right? Just relax. Yeah, now enjoy yourself a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, some people like that sometimes, they need to go on the fucking 3-day acid binge, do a little bit of speed, and then just self-reflect a little bit, Dan. All right, write about that. Write about fucking doing a couple lines of blow and drinking half a liter of vodka, and then come back to me.
They want. The only other option is to live by your programming, pursue the goals that society set for you, and work on projects that lead to those goals. If you don't spend 1 hour building your dreams, you will spend 8 hours.
The internet is full of people trying to sell you on self-improvement, sell you to be an online entrepreneur, right? In the hopes of then you have an unlimited amount of money and that you have unlimited fun in your life. This is the reality, guys. Dan Coe is an example of somebody who made it online, yet it looks very, very miserable. And you can't tell me otherwise, because if you say, well, maybe that's what he wants, it's like, well, why does his soul crush himself? Do you get what I mean? His soul is punishing Dan. It's like, your body rewards you when you do a job well done. It's like, oh, look, well done. Okay, you done great in your life. And then naturally, your body produces serotonin, and you have this glow about you because you're producing literally happiness from within. You're literally bending reality to your will. You're able to impose yourself onto the world, and Dan's doing all that, but his soul is not rewarding him, which means, to me, I think his goals are misaligned. I think he is living a lie. I think he is not happy inside, and I think he is pretending to his followers. It's like, look, if he was just a guy who was like, because I'll teach you how to become rich, no matter what, I'll be fine with it. But then he's also preaching this thing that, like, I'll do what you love, do what you're passionate about, live a life on your terms, on freedom, and then I don't see any passion in his eyes. I don't see any love in his face. Do you get what I mean? That there's nothing charismatic or charming or warm about the guy. Everything is very dark and bleak and miserable.
Building someone else's for life. 10 years ago, my mindset was this: if I can monetize
10 years ago, you probably had a little bit of fun.
any of these passion projects, I'll be set. All I need to do is learn and build until one works. I need to increase my capacity for luck with skill acquisition and experience. It may take 10 years, but some people go to school for 12. And even if I fail, I'd be in a similar position.
I mean, that's a dark, dark sentence that he thought about like 5-10 years ago, whatever it said, right? Like, look, you need to make money, you need to be famous, you need to be seen, right? But just be warned that when you get there, make sure that you have a little bit of soul, okay? Here on Real Instinct, I'm looking for 100 kings who believe that it is their destiny to become famous, for them to become rich as fuck, basically to go on the journey that Dan went. But I don't want you to end up as soulless as him. I don't want you to end up depressed, miserable, lacking passion, and then living a lie in essence, as Dan is. I want you to be part of my network. I want you to build together. Imagine if Dan had like 10 other friends, or even just one other friend that, it's all about solo entrepreneurship with him. But imagine if he had one more friend that he worked together with. You can build your own business, right? But someone he kept in touch with, communicated with, rather than everything being a financial transaction, a business transaction. You know what I mean? There's no trust or loyalty in his life. Nobody's got his back. He doesn't have anybody else's back. Everything is money, money, money for Dan Coe. I am looking for 100 people who believe it is their destiny to become content creators, to become kings, to build their kingdoms. We do that by making content online. We are rising to the top. We are taking advantage before AI takes away most of humanity's jobs. Most of humanity is asleep. They won't realize what has happened, how it is happening, or why it is happening. You need to get ahead of the curve. If you see what is happening, if you believe that this dystopian future is coming and want to uh, you want to be part of my mission, part of this network that I'm creating, if you want to be part of my mentorship and learn how to become a charismatic leader, become a charismatic communicator, then reach out and together we will conquer, together we will build, we will establish your kingdom, I will establish my kingdom, we will have each other's backs. And then once we have 100 kings and establish 100 kingdoms, we will band together, take over the world, throw away the evil current rulers, and usher in a new dawn for humanity, protecting them, allowing them to make their own choices, and have freedom, true freedom, to live their lives as they want. And all together at the same time, we'll be partying, we'll be enjoying our lives, we'll be happy. You can see in my voice how passionate I am, how happy I am, how charismatic I am, right? Let's not beat around the bush, guys, right? If you want to learn how to do this, become a 24-hour content creating machine. You need to work together. I look forward to meeting you. I don't need, thousands of people to build their kingdoms alongside me. I just need 100 strong people, 100 people who believe it is their birthright to be at the top, and together it will truly be magical. We will live in luxury, we will have the best financial opportunities, the best social opportunities, we will have the best parties, we will eat the best foods, live lives of luxuries, and have the best dating lives. Women will be queuing up to date us. There won't be enough hours a day to fuck all the beautiful women that want to be part of our harems, but that is a conversation for another day. That is it. Thank you very much, and I will see you later.